Good evening and welcome to the project, where we deliver news to you differently. Today, the topic of our discussion will be polydrug use, the act of consuming two different drugs at the same time. Today, we have three experts on the panel. The Minister for Health, Maroon. We have a former New South Wales Police drug specialist, Khoury. We have a professor at UNSW specialising in medical science, Kandiah, and I am Dean Jacobson, your host.
To gain insights into different perspectives on the topic of polydrug use, we interviewed Dr. Rita Damasio, a retired chemical engineer and professor at the University of New South Wales. How does the content of drugs affect the brain and the body? Her response was, drugs usually contain several chemicals that can damage organs within the body. An example of this is tar in cigarettes, which coats the lungs and prevents breathing. Once organs stop functioning, body systems are unable to work correctly. Additionally, depending on the type of drug, the central nervous system can be slowed down or sped up, resulting in consequences either way. Knowing that, why do you think polydrugs are more dangerous than ordinary drugs? Polydrugs is the concept of taking two drugs at the same time. Taking one illicit drug often leads to negative consequences, and, if multiple are taken, the consequences are most possibly worse. Additionally, many drugs have chemicals that clash with each other and can detrimentally harm the body. Our final question was, how do you believe the risk of polydrugs can be minimised in society today? Dr. Damasio's response was, there is much already being done to reduce the impact of polydrugs. However, there is room for improvement. More government initiatives should be run to help the victims of drugs, and stronger law enforcement will be put in place to reduce the consumption of drugs altogether.
Now, we'll begin on the expert interviews, the part of the show where we discuss what the issue actually is and how it affects the wider world that we live in. Moving to the next topic of discussion on this very broad topic of polydrug use. Nathan, do you have any comment on what the Australian government is doing to help reduce the use of polydrug use and save innocent lives?
Well, I know one way that the Australian government has been implementing is the use of harm minimisation, which is where people who still would like to take the drug would go to different points around, say, sporting events. They can get the drug checked to ensure that there is nothing bad inside the drug. So different services which the government provide include COAG, it's a mental health improved services initiative. It funds alcohol and other drug services to ensure people are getting the right track of life.
Alright, thank you for that, Nathan. Moving on to the last session, or the last question that we're going to ask today, and this is one that all the experts will be able to target directly. How would you describe the impact of polydrug use on the individual and the community? Bearing in mind that polydrug use isn't just the use of one drug, but two drugs, therefore it would obviously be double as dangerous. However, there's also many unique aspects of this process that you obviously have experience with in your careers. What do you think are some of the most serious impacts on the community? We'll go to Kevin.
So polydrug is the use of two drugs, as you said, and suppliers are starting to put extra ingredients, supplementing the different drugs to make a cheaper manufacturing cost, and putting dangerous chemicals in there, which is very dangerous to the human body and for an individual. And this can lead to many problems, such as mental problems and even heart problems.
Well, I think it's all about getting to that euphoric experience, because when you obviously take the drug for the first time, you feel good, you feel like you won't feel any pain, and then when you take it again, you're obviously not going to have that experience again, because it's just going to be the same each time. So when people want something new, now they mix the drugs for the polydrug use.
Very true. Now, Nathan, what do you think are some of the impacts on the community?
Each suburb has their own reputation. For example, suburbs like King Cross, situated near the city, has a reputation that it's a party suburb. And this party suburb obviously comes with different risks. For example, with the amount of clubs located in that suburb, we could fit thousands and thousands of people into them. Now, if thousands of people are going into these clubs and potentially risking themselves, how do you think we're going to deal with it?
Leading on to what Nathan said, the rise of the use of polydrug in Australia and basically in Sydney is there's been an increase of the use of teens and adults using polydrug, which affects the community in many ways. For example, the community may feel a risk towards them and a threat towards them that someone in their community or just multiple people in their community are taking drugs, and drug supplies are in their area, and this can make the community feel very scared to leave their house at night and even in the daytime.
On behalf of all the team at the project, we hope that you enjoyed this episode and we wish you all good night. Thank you.